Coach, I think we're ready to go. Why don't you just get us started off with your thoughts on the past weekend and looking forward, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, obviously, first quarter defensively, really bad. Three huge chunk plays for touchdowns. Uh, Blew a coverage. The second series gave him an easy score. Was in cover three, corner played cover two. Uh, Rookie mistake, but obviously it cost you dearly. Two runs that uh, didn't fit properly, all right, which got to the back end, which, again, we got to fit the runs properly, not let them get in the back end. But really the chunk runs in the game is, yeah, we got issues up front, and we got to do a better job of not getting to the back end. But our back end guys got to be better. Every run that popped through Saturday turned into a touchdown, which every time you pop a run, it shouldn't be a 60-yard touchdown or a 30-yard touchdown. So our back end guys have to get off blocks and make plays and get guys on the ground when they pop through. Now, credit to Northern. They do a good job blocking. Credit to Northern. Obviously, they have very explosive backs, and they get a bunch of chunk plays against everyone. They score a lot of points, so I'm not taking anything. But we need to limit the big plays, and that goes to the back end of our defense. Second quarter settled in, started getting stops. Offense started moving the ball. We had the ball for 18 minutes in the first half, which is what we're trying to do. Obviously, we've been so bad at staying on the field offensively, and then first half Saturday, we actually started putting some drives together. And even when we weren't putting drives together, we weren't necessarily going 3 and out. So we were at least consuming some time and letting our defense catch their breath, which was important because our defense was reeling a little bit earlier. Then they kind of settled in and started getting some stops. Second quarter, we got to get drives finished. We kick a field goal, we miss a field goal. We need at least a touchdown, a field goal. And now you're saying, okay, their win quarter, they got 21. Our win quarter, we got 10 or 14, and it's a very fair fight at halftime. Get a little momentum in the third with the safety. We go on a nice drive. We're getting ready to cut it, hopefully to 21 to, 12, 13, somewhere in that range. And obviously we have the interception, which was obviously Billy's one glaring mistake for the game. He did a nice job of managing the game. He played much better. And then they capitalize and score, and then obviously the fourth quarter they got a couple late touchdowns to put it away. But felt like in the second, third quarter that we held our own, and offensively I thought we more than held our own. Defensively settled in and got stops, and offensively, again, good enough to move the ball, not good enough to produce points. So obviously long ways to go there, but definitely a step in the right direction. Thought our offensive line blocked, thought our tight ends blocked, thought our backs ran better. Thought our quarterback play was better. Some positives there. Defensively disappointed in our run fits. We talked all week, and again, it's a very difficult game. They really stress you, and that's how they score all these points. They stress everybody with shifts and motions and unbalanced, and at times we handled it very, very well, and at times we open up some gaps. And then, like I said, the disappointing thing then is we got to get them on the ground. Can't go for a touchdown. Our back end guys got to be more aggressive. Got to get off blocks. Got to fly the football and get the guy on the ground. And we didn't do that.
So Western Michigan has 4 quick and strong running backs, and last week they beat Ohio the same way NIU beat you guys this week with the run game, long touchdown runs.
Yes.
So do you see a similarity between the two offenses, and how can your defense against the run shut it down this time?
Well, very similar games when you watch their game tape. There was times that OU on defense really looked very solid, but as you mentioned, those big one-play scoring drives killed them because they, for a quarter and a half, OU really was playing well, and then they just gave up big plays, much like you saw us give up a week ago. So that's, again, the scary part for us is we know they're capable of getting big plays via the run. Last week it was mostly run, but they also have Davis and Braverman who get big plays in the pass all the time with Terrell. So we know they're a big play offense. The focus will obviously, again, be being where you're supposed to be, getting off blocks and making plays, and not giving up those big plays. And Western's fully capable of driving the football because they're very talented, but we have to make them drive the football. And when OU made them drive it, OU had some success. When OU didn't let them drive it, and they went on those one-play big plays. So that's there's not a lot of margin for error when you're playing the better teams in any conference. And obviously we're back-to-back with Northern and Western of two of the teams that have been a year ago at the top of the league and have a lot of guys coming back. So, but we've fit runs well all year. I would say Northern really stresses you with more formation shifts and motions. Western similar, that they use multiple formations. They don't use as many personnel groups as Northern does, and so that'll be a little bit. We'll be able to practice more of what they do, which should certainly help us.
playing similar teams back to back. Can this be almost like a test for your team to see how much they improve from one week to the next, at least in this, or facing that kind of team?
Yeah, and that's where we're at as a program every week. We're trying to see what areas and trying to challenge offense, defense, special teams, but also trying to challenge individuals to see where they can improve in a weekly basis. And again, when we look at the game from an offensive standpoint, we're going to feel like there was improvement. Do we feel like it's good? No. But we feel like there was improvement individually with certain players, and then obviously as a group from an execution standpoint. Obviously this week defensively, we don't feel like there was improvement. We felt like we had situations where we need to play better, and we need to do things mentally better, and we need to do things physically better. There's times we physically got, big part in the perimeter wasn't guys who weren't trying to run and make plays. They're getting blocked, and that's the physical challenge of the game of getting off blocks and getting a guy on the ground is critical, because a 15-yard gain versus a 35-yard touchdown can change the whole complexion of a game. So some of it's physical, some of it's mental. So that's a challenge, and obviously when you play another top team back-to-back, and this one's on the road, obviously it's a great test for our football team.
I feel like we talk about every week, new faces in the lineup. The last 2 games, it seems like James Gardner has been getting more targets. Can we expect to see more of him, or are you just, rotating more players in just to get them experience?
No, he's coming on, and he's starting to understand what he can do. And then obviously when you put him out there and he makes a play like he makes Saturday, that's how you earn more reps for any player. So it's reps are earned, they're not given to you. You give kids opportunities, and then what they do with those opportunities. So obviously with limited opportunities, he makes a big-time play, so you're trying to continue to give that. There's other kids that you target a bunch and you don't get results, well, you target them less. It's kids you target more and they make plays, then you keep targeting. So, and then same thing, defensively, big one for us was Alan Koikoi, and I know he had an early mistake, but once he settled in, Marshall Taylor wasn't available. Heath Houting's out for the year. We got a true freshman going against some really quality receivers, one, and then a really quality offense. And again, huge mistake early, but you got to move past that, and he did, and he didn't buckle after he had a blunder. And as the game went on, he settled in and played better and better. And he didn't play a tremendous football game for a Division I corner, but through the second, third, and fourth quarters, he was gaining confidence and starting to make plays. He made a nice play in the red zone late to keep them out of the end zone. So those are all you evaluate, and with how he played, you're going to give him more opportunities because he competed and he played hard and he got better as the game went on. Is he quite ready for primetime action? No, but this is how we're getting him ready. So there's a lot of guys like that whether it be injury or whether it just be non-production at a position, you're trying to find kids that can make plays when the game's on Saturday, not guys that look good in practice. So we've had some attrition that has just caused us to put guys in that probably we weren't planning on playing this year, and then other lack of production, we put guys in.
Coach, how do you talk about all these, talk about Koikoi, talk about all these guys making a play here or a play there. Is it as simple as just showing the guys, like, look, you can do it, or are the guys really looking at the final score and, getting maybe down on themselves?
I think it just depends on the person. A confident athlete will never get down on himself. A kid that believes himself, a kid that doesn't believe in himself will let a lot of other things affect how he approaches life and how he approaches football. Guys that believe in themselves and know they can play, they get very upset when they make mistakes, and they watch the tape, and they're going to work hard this week to correct those mistakes. All right. There is some physicality issues at times at different positions, particularly in the trenches, that some of that has to get corrected through weight room, and getting bigger and stronger. But a lot of it is know-how. A lot of it is understanding the game. A lot of it is you get put in different positions that you're not used to, and particularly if you're a younger guy that hasn't played a lot, or even an older guy that hasn't played a lot, you get confidence through experience because like, hey, I really didn't know. Like, I was out there and I got confused, and I'm not going to be confused in that situation, and it's not a physical thing, so they don't. When you can show them a mistake that's correctable mentally, obviously that's very beneficial to the kid because he knows physically he didn't get beat. He just mentally made a mistake. Koikoi's first blunder was just a mental blunder. So he shouldn't lose confidence because he didn't get run by. He just blew a coverage. Don't blow the coverage, and you should be fine. So those are the ones that are easily correctable and kids can grow pretty quickly from.
You mentioned Taylor is done for the year? Is that what you said?
No, he's done for the year. Marshall, injured, couldn't play, tried to play, didn't dress even, went to pregame, but didn't get through pregame. So, linebackers and secondary were pretty lean right now, but
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, just general, how are you guys physically? 7 games in now, 5 games to go overall?
I think offensively we have most of our able bodies intact. Obviously, we lost our starting guard for the year preseason with Swartzy, but he's no longer the starting guard. We've been playing without him the whole year. Defensively, 3 linebackers done for the year, and 1 corner done for the year, and some other guys that are, like Marshall couldn't play last week. So we're very, very thin at linebacker and very thin at the secondary and very inexperienced at both of those spots other than Ken Kern, gives us a lot of experience, and Bryson Burrs gives us a lot of experience, but pretty much everyone else out there, this is their first go-around, whether they're older or younger. So tough against Northern, tough against Western, tough against anyone. They just got some really good skill guys and that have a lot of experience and a really experienced offense. So they just got to learn on a fire, got to compete, and got to do better.
Everybody good? Coach, appreciate it.
Thank you.